OK, Liam, this is, again, yet another tricky situation because, as we were saying, people are very reliant on this, and yet, as the Chancellor says, it's unsustainably expensive. And you can see both sides of this argument.
We should say at the top, Stephen, that this is nothing to do with household utility bills. Household utility bills, we know, are going to continue to get support after March 2023, this coming March, to the tune of £3,000 a year. So the energy bill will be capped at £3,000. That doesn't mean that some households won't pay more than £3,000. It means that the unit cost will be that the average house won't pay more than £3,000. Still a huge amount. The announcement today that we're expecting in the Commons from Chancellor Jeremy Hunt is all about business support. Because, of course, some businesses have huge energy bills in the steel industry, manufacturers. I do think those kind of businesses, there will be continued support for them. The fear is for retail businesses, hospitality businesses in particular. Hospitality employs 1 in 10 people here in the UK, and they often have very, very high electricity bills. Restaurants, pubs, and so on. Now, On the Money stays in touch with several businesses. You know, I've got a coterie of business people that I talk to, often small and medium-sized enterprises, the backbone of the UK. And have a look at the numbers here, because I was just got off the phone with one business owner. This is Mark Bridgen, who's an entrepreneur. He owns a gastropub, a wonderful pub down near Canterbury in Kent, the Dog at Wingham. And in July 2021, his utility bill was 36 grand a year, right? When bills went up last year, his utility bill went up to £120,000 per year. I mean, imagine what a massive increase in your utility bill. And this is a guy with one pub. He's got 8 rooms. It's like a gastropub. He's turning over around £1 million a year. That sounds a lot. But if your utility bill is 120 grand, he employs 30 people. With the current price cap, that 120 grand goes down to about 80 grand. And as I said, he employs 30 people in the locality. This is one of those businesses, it's really the centre of a community. It's a family business. It's been doing really well, winning lots and lots of awards. But when I talked to Mark earlier today for GB News, he said to me that these utility bills now, they're so high that without the price cap, and it looks as if Jeremy Hunt is going to remove the price cap for hospitality businesses and remove support, he says without that support, his business may not survive. Here he is.
It's stripping out any profit that we actually make historically, and at a time when, you know, everyone is under the cosh. All of our customers, the whole of society is feeling, you know, this inflationary pressure. We're already seeing, you know, decreased footfall and decreased spend, and so decreased revenues and decreased profits. To then put one of our major costs through the roof, it's going to make it incredibly difficult to survive.
I mean, that's the last thing the Chancellor actually wants to hear, isn't it? Because, as you say, SMEs are the backbone of our economy.
It's the last thing that someone like Mark Bridgen wants to say. Look, this is a family-run business. He's put his heart and soul into this business. Do you think he wants to go on national television and say, oh, my business may not survive? His staff are going to watch that. Why is he doing it? Because he thinks the government is woefully out of touch with ordinary businesses up and down the country, and the implication of these sky-high fuel bills. Something else is starting to happen now, Stephen, too, because wholesale prices are coming down. The wholesale gas price, as I've been saying on GB News all last week, is now below where it was when Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine in February 2022, and yet utility bills are still sky-high.
So why is that?
And other business leaders say to me, the government may try and cap the wholesale price, but that doesn't mean bills themselves are capped, because the energy companies then add in delivery costs, standing charges, things that aren't encompassed within the cap. So the bills businesses are actually paying are still very, very high and unsustainable. Look, the energy companies would deny this, but I'm hearing increasingly from respectable business leaders, particularly small and medium-sized businesses who don't have, you know, massive trading desks, just ringing up like you and me when we're trying to sort our own household utility bills. They're saying that Ofgem, the energy regulator, needs to get across this. The word I'm increasingly hearing from business leaders is rigged. They're also talking about profiteering. They think some energy companies are actually using this energy crisis to jack bills up higher than they need to be in order for those firms, the energy companies, to survive. And that may be exposed as wholesale prices have now fallen, not least because we've had quite a mild winter so far, albeit we've had some really cold days. So I think the government is going to have to really show that it is getting its head around this and looking hard and fast at the energy industry to make sure that we are all getting a fair deal.